Welcome to Breaking Bread's weekly watch list. Now, with this watch list, I wanted to try something different because I know most are not just visual learners, but they like to hear what they are seeing. So, in all of my future watch lists from now on, you will receive a video of a breakdown of both options and future setups and what I'm looking for price to do. So, if you haven't already, click the link in the description of this video and sign up for the watch list, which is free. So I'll provide a link in the description of this video. Go ahead, click that. You put in your email address, and you'll receive this watch list over the weekend. Also, I hope you guys downloaded the journal that I created and I posted in my last session. If you haven't, I will provide the link in the description section of this video. But we got to start holding ourselves accountable, and one way of doing that is to journal your trades. So you have to recognize why you got into the trade, the emotions you were feeling in the trade. If you didn't take the trade, why didn't you? What were you feeling? We got to identify these bad habits that we're creating and these bad habits that we're continuing, and we must replace those with winning habits. But the only way to do that is to first recognize. So when you have time, I'll post it in the description of this video. Also, in the last session, I talked about my mentorship. That is done. It's looking to beginning midsummer. If you guys watched any of my videos, you know mental aspect is what I say is the toughest part of trading, and that is my focus with this mentorship. But I have to get the right people in place that's going to come in and talk to us and help give us guidance on what we do when we get to those hurdles, because they are coming. They do come. They still come. But what we can do once we get to those hurdles and how we can react and prepare ourselves so we don't have to continue running into the same hurdles over and over. But as you can see, I got 3 different programs for 3 different types of traders, whichever one you fall into. But just know, you have to put in the work. This is not about to be one of those ones you can just fly by. No, you have to put in the work. There's homework due weekly. You have to look in this mirror daily. You have to put in that work. If you're not ready to do that, then don't even waste your money. Go ahead and take the kids on the trip and enjoy that, because this is not for you. But we're just talking fibs, price, clear mind on the future side. If you're ready to put in that work and fully commit to becoming the trader that you want to be, then this is definitely for you. But I promise you, this is not that. This is not that. We putting in the work over here. But like I said, I'll post it closer to the date, so stay tuned with that. All right, so let's take it to the charts and let's see what I'm looking at for the weekend. Actually, let's take it to the earnings calendar first. All right, so some of the earnings that are sticking out to me that I'm looking to play the reaction to, I'm not playing the earnings, I'm just looking to play the reaction to, is Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, United Airlines, AA, KeyBank. I like KeyBank. That's a good small stock. TSM, Netflix, SOB, American Express, and PG. Now, in my toxic days, I would probably play all of those, but I am no longer in that stage of my trading journey. So, pre-market, I am going to look at the price action of those tickers and see which one is giving me, which one is talking to me. So, which one has gapped up or gapped down? Y'all know I love a good gap play. And I want to see which one is rejecting a current level of support and resistance and play the opposite way. So, that's what I'm looking for with these tickers. Whichever one is giving me that, then that's the ones I'm taking. Also, you want to be mindful of 2 things. One, that whatever ticker you're taking this week doesn't actually have earnings, unless you want to play earnings. But make sure they don't have earnings, and make sure they're not a sympathy for another ticker. So what does that mean? Let's say you're holding American Airlines. Well, you see on Tuesday after market, United Airlines has earnings. That could possibly affect the play that you're in. Let's say you're holding Wells Fargo. Well, Bank of America has earnings on Tuesday pre-market. So that definitely could affect the play that you're in. So just be mindful of that when you're taking plays. Look at that earnings calendar and see if your play can be affected by another ticker. All right, let's see if we have any red news coming out. that's going to affect the market. All right, so look how we starting the week. We got 3 red folders on Monday. That definitely could affect the market. It's the best part about playing futures because I'm definitely playing this news candle on Monday. On Tuesday, we have Uncle Rome speaking after the market has already been open at 1:15. So keep an eye on that because he does move the market when he talks. And then we have red news on Thursday at 8:30. That definitely can affect any trade that you're holding overnight. So just keep that in mind. Friday, we're clear for takeoff. No news that day. So be mindful of the red news and your trades that you're taking this week. And let's just look and see if we have any oil news because I do like playing CL on the future side. We do have red news coming out on Wednesday. This is last week. Hold on. Let's update this. All right. So we do have red news again coming out on Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. So that could affect CL on the future side and XLE on the option side. And then on Thursday, we have some more red news again at 10:30. Again, CL on the future side, XLE sector on the option side. So be mindful of that. All right, let's look at my watch list. All right, so this is my watch list for the week. I could be toxic and go over all of these with you guys. Maybe the next call, but no, we're not going to start the first call off. It's a little too aggressive. But let's start with some of the ones that were sticking out to me. And the first one that was sticking out to me was Apple. Apple is one of the ones that ended green on Friday. One of the ones that ended green on Friday. Apple is also another one that hasn't created a new high on the year yet. I think it's Apple and Amazon, if I'm not mistaken. It's for sure Apple, but it was one of the big ones that hasn't taken off that year high yet, or created a new 52-week high. All right, so we got Apple. We got Apple double inside on the quarter. We have Apple failed 2 down currently on the month. We are outside on the week. We are 2 up on the day, above the previous month 50%. And we are inside on the 4-hour. I like to take entry off the 4-hour on the option side to try to get in place earlier. But do what you feel. But as you can see on the month with this price level number 1, this is a strong level of support here on Apple. You see it's come down here before and pushed back up. And it looks like it's giving that same vibe this time. So I definitely like this to the upside. I don't know what this price level 2 is. Oh, okay. Probably a target back down to the downside. Okay, yeah. All right, so for entry, I'm looking for a price to get above 176.74. First target is going to be 178.36, which would make that 3-2 up on the week when we get there. If price pushes through this, then I'm going to look to take it to the previous quarter 50%. Doesn't look like a gap to me. Let me check it real quick. Hold on 1 second. So we got 1 hour. Is that a gap? Oh, it was a gap. No, it's a gap right here. I knew it. With my eyes. My gap eyes. They are there. Alright, so definitely a gap right here on Apple at the area here. Alright, let's go back to the 4-hour. Make that smaller. Alright, so above 178.36, we're going to see what price does there. If it continues to push through, then I'll look to play this gap fill because it's not that large of a gap. It should fill it, but it is Apple. You know, Apple be acting funny sometimes. But again, if you want to put your fib on this gap and see what your levels are within this gap, you definitely can do that. If you're not familiar with that, go watch my gap and fib video. and I discuss placing your fibs on the gaps and you playing them from level to level. But if price does fill this gap, then my ultimate target is to take it to this previous quarter 50%. That is Apple to the upside. Now to the downside, below 175.74. We're going to see what price does at the previous month 50%. Next target to beat is 173.70, which was a level of resistance to the left. And then we're going to play it down to the week 50. What would be the week 50 on this? Because I don't think that's the current week 50. Well, it's not that I don't think. That's definitely not the current week's 50%. Yeah, so the current week's 50% is 172.74. And see what price does there. So that's what we're looking at to the downside. Alright, so the next ticker I'm looking at is CRON. Alright, so CRON is holding my broadening formation strong, but we are currently inside on the quarter. We are inside on the month. This is a fail 2 up on the week. We are inside on the day, and we are inside on the 4 hour. And like I said, I like to take early entry off the 4 hour. If you look at it on the day, my broadening formation, price bounced off of it, went back to it, bounce, 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 bounce. We appear to be making lower highs, but we are in a range. So if you look to the top here, this is probably a nice range that is bouncing off of at the top as well, not just the bottom. I'll put a line right here. So I am looking for entry on CRON above 172.46. We do have a gap here. So like I said, go ahead and fib your gap here and play your levels from level to level and play it back to the top of this range and see what price does at the top of this range. We break through, then we hold. We don't, we'll take profit. We'll take profit. But our ultimate goal is to take out this high of 177.59. That's our final target if it wants to give it. But we are, like I said, at the bottom of my broadening formation, so it definitely could break through. To break through, I'm looking for price to get under 171.01. And we're going to play it to 170.07, which will make us a 2-2 rev on the week. And we're going to play it to our ultimate target of the previous one, 50% here, and that's 167.83. So that's what I'm looking for on CRON. Costco is another one that I like. Costco is inside a range that I created with my fibs, my 78 levels. But we do have inside on the quarter. Price is pushing above this previous quarter 50%. On the month, we are currently a 2 down, looking to turn this into a failed 2 down hammer. It looks like it's giving that vibe. We are 2 up on the week. We are inside on the day. We are inside on the 4 hour. So on Costco, I'm looking for price to get above 172. I look for price to get above 732.34, which would make that a 2-2 continuation on the week. Ultimate goal is to get to this side of the range of 740.53 and see what price does here. If we break through, then we're going to play it to the previous one 50%. If we reject, take profits if you're in that for calls, or you can look for entry here off this 78 to play it back to the other side of the range. So that's Costco to the upside. Now to the downside, 727.57 will be our entry. It is the smallest gap right here, but it's definitely a gap right here. We'll see what price does there at 723. It breaks through that, then we're going to play it to the 50% area that we have here with the quarter and the 2 day. That's definitely not the week 50%. But we're going to play it to this area. But our ultimate goal is to play it back to the downside of this range if it wants to get there. But that's what I'm looking for on Costco. It's some other ones I'm looking at, like AVDO. Like if you look right here, it's inside from the quarter down. That one looked good to me. Baba looked good to me. Of course, the Qs look good to me because of NQ. I'm gonna show you that on the future side. But yeah, those some of the ones that stick out. Oh, Baba look good too, but I'm not a fan of Chinese stickers. But I can't hate on the setup that it has. I like that one. But let's move to the future side and see what I'm looking at on Sunday when the market opens up. Let's check out NQ. All right, so NQ is one of the last ones that's still currently inside on the month. But we are inside on the quarter. We are inside on the month. Like I said, we are inside on the week. We should be inside on the day if I'm not mistaken. Yep, inside on the day. And we are, I fell too down on the 4 hour. I'm going to twist this to the hour on the future side. But as you can see, it's holding my broadening formation at the bottom and the top. So I'm looking to play this back to the other side of this range if it wants to give it. It doesn't have to. But on Sunday, when that market opens, I'm looking for price to get above 195. Price gets above 195. Our first target is going to be these wicks that you see to the left. This is why I tell you to go down to the hour and identify these wicks. 2224 will be our first target. Price gets above that. We're going to play it to the 2-day 50%. And see what price does there. Now to the downside, 168. Price gets below 168. Then we're going to look for it to take out this area of confluence here at 120. Next target would be 088. Ultimate target is the bottom range of 020. That's the ultimate goal with NQ. Now, price can reject any of these levels, and you can find entry to play this back to the downside, or it could bounce at any of these levels that I talked to the downside, and you can play it back up to the upside. That's what I'm looking for on NQ. Now let's check out ES. But this is why NQ is why I like QQQ on the other side. It has the same setup. So if you're on the option side, you definitely can take QQQ. All right, so ES has a different story than NQ. We are 2 up on the quarter. We are 2 up, or fell 2 ups. I'm sorry, fell 2 ups currently on the quarter and the month. We are 2 down on the week. We are 2 down on the day and the hour. We are fell 2 up on the hour. So we actually closed below my broadening formation here, but it's still holding my 61.8 level here. So on Sunday, when the market opens, I am looking for price to get above 171. Now, the best entry looking at this is for price to close above this broadening formation. So if you can wait until 174, I would wait till 174 and play this to the upside. First target would be 181. Let's see what the 50%. It might be the 50% of the day. Let's see. No. All right. Yeah. So the 50% of the day is currently the 199. So we'll see what price does when it gets back to that area. Does it reject and come back down, or do we keep pushing back through? So that's what I'm looking for. ES on the upside, the downside, below 166. We'll take this to the lows of the day, which is 51.50. Ultimate goal is to play it back to the 78. See if price holds there, or do we break through to the downside? That's what I'm looking for on ES. Now let's look at oil, because I do like playing CL. I caught CL on Friday, and looking at it, it gave back all the moves that it made earlier when I caught it. I caught this move and it gave it all back. That's crazy. All right, so on CL, which is audio, and I told you guys it has red news next week. Um, CL is currently 2 up on the quarter. We are currently 2 up on the month. On Wednesday, we closed at, I'm sorry, on Wednesday. At the end of the week, we closed as a fail 2 up on the week, but it's still above the previous week 50%. So keep that in mind. This definitely could just be a retracement. If you look at it on the day, it's also a fail 2 down, but this is a strong level of support here. That's definitely a strong area of support. You can see prices come down, bounced off of it, come down, bounced off of it. So this is a strong area of support. I want to see if it's going to do that again when it opens up on Sunday. But we're going to go down to this hour for entry. Let me see what this 50% of the day is. It's up there. And then the week 50%. It's down there. All right. So price gets above 85.59. We're going to play it to the Tuesday 50%. Then we're going to play it to the week's 50%. See what price does there. Do we break through? If it does break through, then we're going to take it to the day 50%, which is in this area. You really can't see it, but it's there. You see it say 50% right there. We're going to see what price does at that area. That's to the upside. Now to the downside, 85.34. We look to play it to this price level of 85.09, which has been a strong area. So the lowest price has gotten in this range is 84.64. So price definitely can get to this level and bounce again. So keep that in mind. There's also a gap down here at the 82 area. So also keep that in mind. But that's what I'm looking for in CL, especially on those news that it has. Red folders that we talked about earlier. But that is my watch list for this week. I hope this gave you some type of insight of what I'd be looking at with my trades. Next time we'll do a more detailed breakdown, but I just wanted to do a brief one this time.